Stavros Tousios for M4Markets, and we're gonna have a quick look on gold and pound today. They are soaring, everything is going up against the dollar. It's a CPI day, of course, and we're not sure whether this move is going to continue or not. Now, important things to mention first. Double false break, continuation back into this channel for gold. We have not yet reached the median line, which might bring us closer to 1945 or so at the 90%. And important for the bias as well, we remain above the 61.8 and we have just actually retested that level for a support. Now, as you well know, markets move in 5 waves. So if this is indeed the beginning of a 5-wave leg, and rather than 3, because 3 waves do suggest there is a correction indeed, and then maybe we're going to stay here for a potential 4th wave correction, then do the other one to the upside, then do 3 waves, and then potentially go up for fresh highs. Now, if we lose the 61.8, and that might be due to the CPI report today, for example, losing it, I mean an actual valid confirmed break. But either way, that now and above the 1890 or so and above the 1900s remains a bullish bias case, which means the next level up, apart from the Fibonacci's, is at the 79 Fibonacci. And then above that will go just around the 1950 rather than just the 90%. From there, of course, we see the previous high. Now, if we start falling, only when we lose the 50% will bias start shifting again, shifts to the 50%, okay, sentiment, okay. Now, if we are indeed done over here with the upside, because we see 1 hour bearish divergence, we could start moving lower down, and we have to start looking at the 23, 38, 50, 62, and this is how it goes. So we have a cluster at 1863, 61 territory already. So even if we do fall lower down, that is going to be the level where we'll have to pay attention because potential bounce from them could actually lead to a continuation to the upside. But if we do lose that level, then obviously it will just probably be an actual reversal instead. Now, when we look at the pound, we have had equally good momentum to the upside. We are in overbought territories as well. We have actually closed above the zone of the 121.50 as well, which is now just retested as a support. So as long as we are above 121.50 intraday and ahead of the CPI, the bias remains to the upside. But let's not forget the upside leg, potential upside leg would be limited ahead of the CPI, guys, right? So even if we are biased to the upside, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to break higher. This is just for short-term trading, some scalp opportunities just ahead of the CPI. After the CPI, of course, you well know that the level to find resistance to the upside is around 122.65, and from there we'll probably go up to around the 123.40 or so. And on the downside, if we lose that level, then you go to the previous swing low, which is at 120.49, let's call it 50. And then from there, of course, we have the 120 handle, very strong psychological level. Equally to gold, we do see some sort of divergence on the other side of the 1 hour, but that shouldn't scare us. It might just be simply a correction. I do think, though, that, you know, the way that this is moving now, maybe we're going to consolidate, and from there maybe we're going to see an upside or a downside before or after the CPI, and all of that stuff actually matters, the before and the after, because if we see it before the CPI, then most probably we're going to get a longer sort of correction to the downside, and we're going to start to look again at whether this bottom trend line of the channel is going to hold prices well, firmly or not. Because if we lose that channel again, then the trend becomes a little bit more accelerated to the downside. We're gonna lose the 120, then it's 119.54 and 118.87, and as you well know, sentiment is going to change to the downside anywhere below 120. So we have to be careful about how we want to trade this, okay? I.e., it will be best to wait for a correction for swing trades and to see how the support reacts, okay, in both cases.